Hello everyone, it's Claudia here with We're Just Two Sisters, and I'm going to take you on a walkthrough video of the latest journal in the series of African American journals. This one is called Hope, and I hope that you enjoy it. I'll be honest with you, this one's going to be hard to give up because I just fell in love with every aspect of it. It has all my favorite colors, all my favorite textures. And it's just a nice size and just so elegant. So this is a relatively large journal. It's 8 inches by 9.5 inches, and it has a really large spine. It has a beautiful spine on this side, this lovely tassel work here with the embossed cloth that goes all the way around the edge. The back side is equally beautiful. It says "Free Your Mind" on the back. And I just hope that whoever ends up with this journal just makes it their own beautiful masterpiece. It's just what it deserves. So it's held together with this beautiful silk ribbon. It is a total of 108 pages with over 70 embellishments. Including tags, cards, pockets, tablets, just all kinds of little fun things that are included. The cover is made from a vintage piece of picture frame that comes in an old Victorian photo album. It's held together here with, as I said, a beautiful silk ribbon, and these buttons are sewn on. So the vintage photograph here comes from a book that I purchased and has a lot of really great African American photographs in it, which quite frankly are sometimes hard to come by. And so I'm thrilled when I get such beautiful and authentic vintage photos. So I'm going to go ahead and untie this and get started. As I said, button is sewn on. It's punched all the way through this hard vintage book cover, and attached on the other side, also attached with another button, and that button is glued to the inside of the page. This is the bookmark I was telling you about. On the front, you see the bookmark here. It provides a beautiful element on the front with the tassel, but it can also be unhooked from the book with this clip, and this bookmark can be used to place in any page that you'd like to either mark or save as your favorite spot. So let's walk through this one. The first page here is a combination of different textures and different styles of paper with this lovely trim that is sewn on, and this butterfly die cut here that I thought just adds just a real beautiful element there. Turn the page. The first one here is a page that just depicts a really cool story, a story that you can make up and make your own. But I just was really pleased with these folks here, and it kind of looks like maybe they are corresponding or they went on a trip. And these are little snippets that are vintage cloth, some burlap, some additional vintage cloth here with some sewn on buttons, and those are attached to this lovely gold ribbon. The floral paper there just kind of accents this pocket here, and you'll find a lot of pockets that have tags and ephemera. This first tag here is just a tag that you can journal on one side, and on the other side it talks about dress designing, fashions for yourself and others. And I just thought that this lady's outfit, she looked so professional, and I thought that she looked like a dress designer. So again, you can place these tags and all of the ephemera pretty much anywhere that you'd like to. This pocket here has an upper little section here. It also has this pocket, and it has this pocket. I'm going to set these aside, and that way I can show you kind of the entirety of all of the different elements that are included in this journal at the end. And as always, you can move these around and place them wherever you would like. This pocket here contains this handmade postcard. It's embossed, so it has like some raised areas on it. This happens to be like a dandelion, so you can make a wish. I'll note you in my book of memory. And I love to make these postcards. They're so much fun to make. I'm going to slip this one back down in here because I know that that's where it goes. This page, everything is glued on. Everything is very vintage. Coffee dyed paper. This wonderful graphic here that I took and then embellished on with the butterfly wings and added a few more pieces to it. This is a piece of old sheet music, and it's all layered on top of this Victorian book that has Victorian fashion. Another really great page. This one depicts beautiful friendship. It also has a clock with a pretty charm with a chain. And again, it comes layered with things like vintage napkins and vintage pictures of old shoes and so forth. And I just really appreciated the way that all of these things came together to create that page. You'll find maps and also a lot of journaling pages. Almost, I would say at least half of the pages in this journal are embellished with a vintage ribbon and lace on the edges. It's all sewn on, so it's not going to go anywhere. In fact, I actually use a fabric glue first to tack it on before I sew it. So what you'll find with these journals is that they are made to last and they're made to be used. I would highly encourage you to use it, carry it with you, write in it, embellish the pages even further. This is a wonderful pocket with made out of an envelope and some great art paper on top of a French dictionary with this pretty round embellishment here. It says, "She spoke from her heart." And what I've added here is this lovely card talking about tuberoses and this lovely lady with her beautiful hat. I think I might have named her Sweet Georgia Brown. No gal maid has got a shade on Sweet Georgia Brown. And I just thought that that was really appropriate for her. It also includes this beautiful embossed tag with, again, what I thought were tuberoses that's embossed on the back as well. It also has this great piece here, which is Gleanings in Bee Culture. It's a monthly $1 per year sample copy free. And on the back, it has an advertisement. You cannot buy cheaper or better power than what this engine gives you. And this is Norvo Engine Company. These advertisements come from a stack of literary digests from the 1800s that I was fortunate enough to find at a thrift store. Here's an inventory tag that is very old and vintage. Turning the page, this comes from a wonderful book that I purchased at a thrift store that has all of this vintage handwriting. It's a handwriting analysis book, and I did cut it up because I just absolutely love using these in my journals because they're authentic, they're real, and this one came from Hotel Jefferson. It's dated December of 1914. And not only did they just have beautiful handwriting back then, but they just really add such a great texture and design element to the journals. This page has a little corner pocket. In that corner pocket, there are 3 items. This one is an age replacement depot card for Harold Liam. And just, again, things that you just don't see anymore. This is a really fun little card that I made. Has journaling space on the back. On the front it says, "Women aren't supposed to make the coffee. The Bible says Hebrews." I thought that was very funny. Anyway, I'm going to set these aside. Try to keep them in little stacks so that I can remember where I actually had originally placed them. But that doesn't mean they have to go back in that same spot. You, as the owner of this journal, are allowed to tell the story. You are allowed to move all these things around to wherever you think they might work best. So this is a paper doily, and what I've done is I've inked it up to make it look old. I've added these great little hearts, and when I was inking up the doily, the ink went through to the other pages. This is my own coffee dyed paper that I make, and I really loved the result of that because it basically created a stencil where this doily went through on the paper. And these are awesome pages to write on or to continue to add more things to the journal that you might love. This is a photo pocket. This photo pocket has a great little tag here. It says, "I know that I am home." And this is depicting family. Wonderful old vintage photograph that slips right down in here. And in the back, it also has a pocket. This pocket has a old punch card, a time card, that I've just added this fun trim to, white cabbage coal and the apple tree, just to add a little bit more texture to that. Set that aside. Lots, again, blank pages for you to write on, for you to add more journal things. Make your own, use your own creativity, watch some videos, make pockets, make different things that hold the other ephemera and memorabilia, keepsakes that you want to add. This is a wonderful little page called Create. It has elements of vintage sheet music, an old mason jar, a cutout with a snippet of a cluster here of vintage cloth, vintage lace, and this wonderful button. The button is sewn on to the cloth and then it's glued on, so it's not going anywhere. Again, another page for you to kind of make your own. And just imagine if you had a photograph that you specifically loved that you could glue onto that page, or you take a photograph that you love, you mount it on another piece of paper, and you glue it on here just with the three sides, and then that makes a pocket that you can fill with wonderful things. Here's a tab folder that I've added that I've just put a little corner on that gives it, again, more texture and more color. My own paper that is coffee dyed, tea dyed, and stencil dyed, you'll find throughout this journal. Different types of paper, different sizes of paper that just make for wonderful journaling. Here's a corner pocket. These are simple to make and adorn with whatever you might have handy. You can take old greeting cards that you've received and make them into these types of pockets. So this one has 1, 2, this is J&B Plating Company, Riverside, California. Has that little punch in it. This one is also a London Midland Scottish Railway Company, a tag, and then this tiny little tag that says, "Live side by side at a future date, dear." And again, just pieces of sheet music. So I'm going to set these aside. Here's another pocket made out of maps. This pocket holds several really great pieces. This little postcard that says, "I love you," with the little owls on it. "The past cannot be changed, but the future is yet in your power." Really great advice there. A little card with this adorable little girl that just says "can." And on the back of it is from an old magazine, "Make Your Own House Coat or Bed Jacket." And I've just added a number 7 there, just to add a little bit more. This is from a library book. Of course, it has the dates, 1940, 1934, 1946. That book had a long shelf life at that library. And then, I don't know if you remember these, Memorandum of Call. Back in the day when we had a receptionist that would answer the phone, they would write down the message and put it in your inbox. And then when you came back to the office, you would check your inbox and have all your little handwritten messages there. This has a really great butterfly on it that is kind of 3D. I like that effect. Another pocket here. This pocket has a tag in it that has these wonderful people. Took me once more, the dear days of yore. And they just look like they're going on a wonderful adventure. Here is some, again, old magazine ads. Some really pretty flowers that make up that tag. That also has this really pretty charm on it. And this also has some tickets, a ticket to the theater and a ticket to another theater, 50 cents and 35 cents. And those just slide back down into that pocket. Next page is what I call a cluster page. It has an element on the back of vintage eco-dyed paper, some vintage lace, all on top of this layered piece of paper that fuses two very different pieces with some sewn on lace. And this says, "Start before you are ready." I'm sure there's a story that you could tell about that. Another corner pocket with a tag and 2 tickets, a 35-cent raffle ticket, another raffle ticket that has some writing on it, and this tag here that says it's an advertisement from a really old Reader's Digest magazine about Lysol. New Lysol, thoroughly effective, yet needs no poison label. Important news for married women. And then on the back, it just has some really cool art paper there, or craft paper. Another collage page that I was just super happy with the way this came out. This is a piece of burlap that I took off of a bag that I had, and I just knew that there was going to be the perfect place to use it, and I couldn't have been more pleased with how it came out on this page. This is again my own eco-dyed paper. This one I used chicken wire when I dyed it, and I really loved the way that it came out. It really adorns and decorates this beautiful photograph. This is again a piece of burlap that is sewn onto another piece of thick eco-dyed paper, and it contains 2 little pieces. One is this lovely little card that has journaling space on one side, and this little ticket that is for the Lincoln Theater. I'm going to put those right back in there because I know that that's where I want them to stay. And then this has this pretty red bow that kind of, matches the bow on here. And this is vintage sheet music. A lot of it is George Gershwin. I had an entire book of George Gershwin vintage sheet music. Here's Ain't Necessarily So from Porgy and Bess. And this has embossed aluminum that I make, and I really enjoy making embossed papers. I'll hold this up a little bit. Hopefully you can actually see how it's embossed with like gears on it. I thought it was quite masculine looking. And to go with that, along with a little bit of bling, is this lovely pocket that has this card, "Who is swoon-worthy," and I would have to agree with that. You can earn $1,000. This is a really cool little element that I put on there that's like a keychain. And then on the back of this, it has a pipe. It looks like a receipt from an invoice, a little bit of stamping, and I just loved how that card goes in there. More paper for journaling, writing, adding more pockets and photos to your journal. Make it your own. This is a recipe card that I made into a pocket. Has this beautiful blue ribbon. If you take this out of the pocket, it is a wonderful journal within a journal, if you will. This little card comes out. It says "Things to Do." Has all these little note cards that you can write things on. And this lovely lady who is demonstrating I think her stove or her dishwasher, probably her stove. And then on the back, it's an old advertisement about needlecraft. And as you can see, this is sewn all the way around. The pocket is, this slips right down into this little band. And when you open this up, this is yet another little tablet. I'm in the garden, has a tablet for you to write on, a place for where you can put, you know, virtually any other card that you wanted to in here. And it'll hold quite a bit because the pocket here is relatively loose. So it could even hold like a little handkerchief if you had a keepsake handkerchief that you wanted to save in your journal. Just slip that right back down in there. This is the center spread of the signature, so we're halfway through. The center spread has 2 pockets. This pocket holds this lovely card with this little girl she could believe, and she just really looked to me like she was very pensive and she was really thinking about something. Has this little musical note that's attached here, and on the back of here is some butterflies and mushrooms. These little cards and tags simply slip right down into that little pocket, and this goes in here. This one also has a photograph of this great lady. She actually reminds me of a story that my mom used to read to me about Miss Wiggs of the Cabbage Patch. I don't know why, but every time I look at this picture, this woman reminds me of that story. And it has a tag here with a size on it. Has a little heart that slips down into this pocket. These guys go in here. And then at the top, this is also an opening. I've put this little card, which is in another language. It looks like a piece from a passport or something. And on the back, it has some writing in a kind of a postcard look. And I punched a hole in this and added a little chain. That way, when you put it at the top, the chain can actually hang over the edge and over the top of your journal. And I love the difference in variety here, from kind of a modern look here, kind of an African print, to the more Victorian romantic paper. I love when those are combined, and then with vintage lace and vintage look there. The cool thing about this journal too is it really lays flat. I really was excited about how when I put this together, even for as many elements as it has in it, it really lays nice and flat, so it makes it easy to write in and so forth. So this is a large corner pocket that contains this tag. This is a tag / card. It has a picture of a family, compliment 3 people every day. And I really appreciated this photograph. I wonder sometimes about how these old photographs were taken, and people didn't really smile back in those days much in their photographs. I think they were told not to, because if you look at a lot of old photographs, people just really didn't say cheese like they do today. But here he is, and this card is 1909, and what I've included in this little band is this little piece here, a couple of trip diary pages, and then an Uno card. And this layering on top of this old vintage piece of an advertisement from an old 1900s magazine. This can just slip right in there. And there's room again for a lot more pieces. This is my favorite page in the entire journal. Today you are you, that is truer than true. There is no one alive who is youer than you. And if you're like me, you know immediately that that is Dr. Seuss. And I just love Dr. Seuss. Handle with care, because I think we should always handle our children with the utmost of care. And I love how they're peeking out the side. Yet when you open it, there's a third child here. And I don't know why. It's my favorite page in the journal. It makes me smile, and I just really love how it came together. More vintage sheet music from the picture Goldwyn Follies. Again, George Gershwin. Another collage page, which is actually a very large pocket. This has several pockets. It has this beautiful flower with a charm glued onto the vintage cloth. Sheet music, Mighty Soon, and Here I Am, Here Am I, with this old sewn on photograph in this pocket that holds 3 tags. One, this is a actual old depiction of a letter, and this is an advertisement that I have attached a weekly ticket to. I think it's a lottery ticket. And these can just slide right down in this pocket. And then in the back, there's a large pocket. What I've put in here is an old newspaper piece. This is from the Los Angeles Times back in the 1900s. And I've just kind of folded it so that when you put it in this pocket, you can kind of see it fringe off of the top. Again, you can put these things anywhere you like. Here's another pocket. This pocket has a card that says, glow where you go. And over here it says, color me fashionista. And a little sewing machine here. And on the back it has an advertisement for a sewing machine and a bingo card. I don't know, she kind of looked to me like she might, in her fashionista self, she might be going to play bingo. So this just slides down in here. This is embossed vellum. A little bit fragile, but still, if you're careful, it's perfectly fine. And there with her bingo card. These are script or cursive writing practice sheets that I love to put in the journals. And then here is an envelope. It says close to the heart down here at the bottom. And the envelope on the outside says, she knew exactly who she was. Outside validation was not necessary. This is an old piece of dictionary. You can see that it still has the little gold tab on it from the EF. And you open this envelope up, and inside it has this beautiful tablet that matches the envelope, and that just provides you with even additional journaling space in this lovely book. So this just slides down there, and it also has this really whimsical, fun yarn that I like to pull out and just kind of let it hang. More pages that you can decorate, more writing space, a lot of writing space. The other side of that little folder, here's a very delicate little pocket that's made out of my Echo dyed paper, has this beautiful little butterfly and this butterfly tag that has a little charm on it. And that just slides right down in here. And another pocket with tags. I'm really big on tags these days, but I love this. So this pocket itself has a photograph. The photograph is of these 3 lovely ladies, look like they're in New York City, just having a wonderful time. In the back, it's kind of a perfume jar, a ticket here, and then these little tags are since she came, why, and a ticket, and then this one is very Victorian, fellers she can't get. And you can put those either way. You can put them this way, and I like to place them so that you aren't necessarily, covering up the photograph, or just leave one person showing. And then there's that element of surprise when you look behind. Here's the other side of that piece of doily, and I've put a little handmade flower here with some newsprint, coffee dyed paper, journaling paper, a collage page, learning to fly with this lovely bird, and a tag. This is a pocket that can hold lots more things. Again, part of my Echo dyed or Echo stained paper, maps, a French dictionary, another pocket here with this dapper dude. It says, fashions change, but style endures. Perhaps he's a lawyer. I don't know, maybe his name is Z. but I thought he was quite dapper. And then on the back it has the boot, and this can just go right down in here. This is embossed paper, and this came again from that Victorian fashion book. Here's a really cool page that has a sideways pocket for thy sweet love remembered. It has a tag with some embossed writing on it over a very vintage photograph. And inside it has this little card that on the back has a butterfly and some other features there, some leaves, 16 crochet hooks advertisement. And then this is a page that actually opens up, creates more writing space here. Here's more advertisement, more of that vintage stained paper. And this is just a fun little piece here where I put the little reinforcements over that and then tied the string on it. Makes it look older. And then the very last page, I always like to put a little window in these somewhere. And this one I just loved the lady that's hiding behind the window. Just colorful and beautiful, and you can see that the little windows open up here so you can get that dimension on it. So that is the last page of this journal. As I said, the back is also finished and beautifully adorned here. So I hope you enjoyed the walkthrough of this journal. As I said, it's definitely one of my very favorites that I've ever made. I just love everything about it. And if you love it too and you'd like to have it for your own, it's available on our Etsy shop, and that's www.we'rejusttwosisters.etsy.com. That's We're Just Two Sisters with the number 2.etsy.com. And I hope you'll check out some of the other things. There are currently 4 African American journals on the shop, but I will say that the journals that I make don't last very long on the Etsy shop, usually 1 or 2 days. So I hope that if you would love to have this, that you are the lucky person to purchase it. And again, I always appreciate your time. I appreciate you. And thank you so much for watching. Have a great day.